For me, the perfect definition of the perfect appetizer or snack is one I can make ahead, freeze if I need to, and is perfect for any occasion all season long. I've taken this one to tailgate, served it at cocktail parties, and put it in my kids' lunch boxes. So what am I making today? Rotola di pizza. Pizza bread! Let's get started. While pizza bread can be made with any pizza dough, even store-bought, if you have the time to make your own, I highly recommend you do, and here's why. Besides the requisite sugar and salt, you can flavor the dough, and I'm using black pepper, garlic powder, and Italian seasoning blend. And I'm just going to stir that right into my flour. And from here, you can mix it the conventional way by hand, kneading it on this board. You can get out your stand mixer. You can get out your food processor. My appliance of choice is the bread machine because in 55 minutes, it's going to knead and rise my dough, and I'm going to be ready to go. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put in the pan of my machine 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 1.5 cups of hot water. When you're working in a bread machine, you always put your wet ingredients in first. It's kind of the opposite of your food processor. And I'm just going to spoon all of my flavored flour right on the top. Once I get most of it out of this bowl, I can just kind of dump it in. Now I'm just going to make a little indentation or a well on the top of the flour. I'm going to add 1 packet of yeast. I'm going to take my bread pan, put it into my bread machine, turn it on, and in 55 minutes, I'm going to have enough of dough to make 2 loaves of pizza bread. My dough is out of the dough machine. I had 2 pounds of dough, and I've put 1 pound each on each of 2 10-inch by 15-inch baking pans. And I've patted it out with my fingertips, just like you would a pizza crust, except you're not going to form the crust. You're going to keep it kind of flat and free form. Now we're going to layer it, alternating our meats and our cheeses. And when you're buying your cheeses, you can put anything you want in this, but just tell your deli counter to slice them as thin as possible so they don't fall apart when you pick them up. Because if your slices are too thick, your pizza bread is going to split open and the filling is going to ooze out while it bakes. So that's a really important trick. And I'm starting with 6 slices of a nice thin sliced, they call this here in the Happy Valley, deluxe ham. And pay attention here because this layering process, you just don't put stuff all over the surface of the crust. Okay, we've got 6 slices of ham. Now, you see where I put these. What you want is close to you, a really short little opening. On the sides, about 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch. But on the top, you want to leave an open strip of about 2 inches. And all of your fillings, no matter what you're putting in, gets layered in this 2/3 of the crust. So we've got 6 slices of ham. Now I'm going to add 6 slices of provolone cheese because it's Italian and Italians always put provolone cheese in their pizzas and their breads. Now it's time for the salami, and I'm going with 8 slices. This is Genoa salami. And it's always meat, cheese, meat, cheese. For my next cheese, mozzarella, 6 slices, the same as the provolone. And pepperoni, because it's smaller than the salami, we're going to do 10 slices of salami, of pepperoni. Sorry about that. And my last cheese choice is a Cooper CV or Sharp. If you can't find this, which it's available everywhere in Happy Valley, you want to use some American cheese, and I use this because it really melts super creamy, and it's a great cheese to have in the middle of a pizza roll. And I'm just going to put 6 slices of this. This would make a great sandwich, right? In the middle. And lastly, a really good sprinkling of either Parm Rege, but I'm using Asiago cheese today because I like the tang of the Asiago. And now it's time to roll. And this is a little tricky. This is the part where any person who makes pizza bread wishes they had 3 hands. You only have 2, and don't worry about it. It's a lot easier. I'm going to show you how I do it. You want to lift up your corners right here, the side closest to you. The first roll is the hardest part, but you just want to give it a nice firm push. And I mean a nice firm push. See, that wasn't too bad. Now I'm going to pull it, give it a little tug towards me, and I'm going to turn it up. And with every turn, I'm going to give it a gentle tug towards me, and a gentle tug towards me. And when I get to this open strip here, I just lift this over the top, and I'm going to firmly seal that. And then I'm going to gently do the same thing with both ends. I'm going to roll it over. Now that may not look perfect, and I have a little bit of a tear there, but do not fret about that. I'm going to set this aside to rise for a full hour before I bake it in a 350-degree oven for 35 minutes. And if you see this little tear, when the dough rises, I'm going to have enough of excess from the risen dough here to just patch that up with my fingertips right before it goes in the oven. Any season of the year, hot or cold, any way you slice pizza bread, hot, warm, cold, or leftover, it's always the perfect time for this family-friendly, crowd-pleasing appetizer. For these and all of my recipes, just go to my website.